The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
You know, when I met you, I just thought you were full of charisma. I also thought you were a little bit full of bullshit.
Don't lie to me, Ray. What's going on? Who's in there, Ray? No one. I did not give you permission to go. I can explain, okay? Just listen. Don't be scared.
And hello everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television. The original broadcast date is October 18th, 2019. Tonight, we're launching our new format. We've got some of our segments have been presented to us. We've got I hope it is a completely different show, other than, of course, my own charming self from what you're used to, and that it is an enjoyable experience. First thing I got to do right out of the gate, though, I got to apologize to the viewers and to my guest and co-host. I am coming down with either a chest cold or bronchitis, so I might have to just stop right in the middle of this thing, blow my nose, mute my mic, and cough. But I'm just saying, just giving you a heads up. It's been a rough day on the breathing front. And of course, I'm only smoking like half as much, so that hopefully that'll help. Our guest tonight is Helen Baldwin Kingkade. She is the director, writer, and producer, and some of those are co-producers, I've been told, like co-writer and co-producer, I think, with her husband, Howard Kingkade, of the short Songbird. Now, everybody, Songbird was the 2019 short of the year, or whatever we called it. Best short, that's what we used. Best short at the Scarefest Film Festival this year. It has won, we'll talk about them a little bit later, but it's won a lot of awards. And because it is still out there winning awards and doing the film festival circuit, we can't show it to you. Somebody's already asked me, where can I watch it? Well, you have to follow it around. You have to go to a film festival. And then if she really has a great time tonight, maybe she'll let us put it on the show after she gets done with it. Bonehead Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis is coming on later with a little segment to give us a film review. We've got our Week in Horror History. Dan Nation of Mutagen Nation did an interview at Scarefest we're going to be playing. And somewhere here, I have a $10 gift card. Now, for those of you playing the home version, load your Twitter account. We will be playing on Twitter tonight. I will give you something to tag at the Scarefest with, a hashtag as you kids call it. And we're going to give you a $10 gift card to Shakespeare & Company. That's at 367 West Short Street in downtown Lexington. And now, on with the show. Helen, welcome to Scarefest Television.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And right out of the gate, my first question is, this is a really good production, okay? The production quality on your short is just, it's theatrical quality, if you will. What drives a person to put that much obvious love, effort, and detail into a short that, as far as I know, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but most of these things I think just kind of disappear after a year or two.
Well, we hope it won't disappear. I mean, I do have some friends who have sold their shorts and they're now available on Amazon Prime, so that could be an option.
I did not even know there was a market for shorts on Amazon Prime, and I have Amazon Prime.
Well, Lunch Ladies is a short that a friend of mine directed, and it just got picked up by Amazon Prime. And also, shorts can be anthologized, so that's a possibility as well.
I had not thought of that. See, that is why I bring these people on to educate me about the film world. Because, don't get me wrong, I enjoy sitting and watching shorts. I watched a lot more shorts at the film festival at Scarefest this year than I did the features, just because I couldn't dedicate the time to the features. But I watch these things and I'm thinking, there is just a lot. That little, yours is 15, 19 minutes. There is just a lot of work in that piece of art that I was trying to get a kind of a grasp on it. And thank you for explaining that so well. Now, when a person makes a short, is the film, and how long? Well, I'm going to ask this one first. How long did it take you from filming time to end product to get that 15, 19 minutes in the can, ready to take around to film festivals?
We actually shot for 3 days, but before those 3 days, because the film centers around camera and photography, we had to have a whole still session, and that was about a month or 5 weeks before we shot. So we got all the beautiful stills by two different photographers, Brennan Booker and Cody Arave, did those beautiful photos, and that was well in advance of the shoot itself, because we actually had to develop pictures. As you know, there are photos actually being developed on camera, on film, so we had to have that pre-tested before we shot.
To give the viewers it's a description. It's not a spoiler because it's on our website. A troubled street musician finds a magic camera that ends his loneliness while opening a door to his darker side. And that is an understatement, if there ever was one. One more question, then I'm going to flip you over to Holly. On the writing side of it, where did this idea come from?
Well, my husband and I are both huge fans of Hitchcock. And not only do we love his films, but we also like the series that he did with the hour-long shorts that he had. So we were just tossing around ideas, and Howard came up with the idea of a camera that literally captured people. So it sort of went from there.
So whose idea was the sick bastard part, though? I can understand the capturing the essence of the person, but now somewhere in there the sick bastard part came in, and that had to be on somebody's mind.
Well, we wanted somebody dark, and the actor that we selected, I just think he does such an awesome job. And what's interesting is Jonathan was raised, his parents are professional clowns. And he was raised in a house with comedy and parties and happiness. But I had a feeling that he could do something darker. So, he brought the written word to a whole different level.
Holly, over to you.
Okay. Am I on?
Yes.
All right. Hi.
Hi, Holly.
How are you?
Good.
Okay, I have a few questions about the film, and in the next segment, I will ask you a few questions about yourself. And so the first question is, where was this filmed?
It was filmed in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay. And when was it filmed? Because on the Vimeo, it says last year.
Yes, it was filmed. We completed everything by January 2018.
Okay. And it said the director of photography on the Vimeo. That's who his account it was on?
The director of photography was Pedro Avila, and he's in LA, and we've worked with him once before as well with another short.
Great. And is he the one that did the photography, the photos?
He did not do the still photos. He did the cinematography. And he actually won an award just recently at the Die Laughing Fest for his cinematography of Songbird. So I'm very proud of him, like I said.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. About the film. Was it inspired by a serial killer?
Not a particular serial killer.
I actually Googled earlier. After I watched it, I Googled serial killers that keep trophies and things. And so I wondered if it was about Jeffrey Dahmer, maybe.
Well, I mean, there's so many wonderful serial killers but I think that Songbird, the character, is unique. Raymond is unique because I don't think he starts out as a serial killer. I don't think that's his initial intent.
Okay, so that goes into my next question, and it was, well, why was the actor chosen? And you already explained that to Wes. And I said, based on his appearance and aesthetic, he didn't really fit a killer that we would know in that past killers, like 70s, 80s type killers, as far as appearance-wise. So was there a specific reason why he was chosen based on his appearance?
Well, we wanted him... Like I said, we didn't want him to be a serial killer from the get-go. He was just a lonely guy, and he got this equipment, this device that gave him power. And sometimes power works for good, and sometimes it doesn't work for good. So I think when the character of Raymond gets that camera, it's just not a good thing.
Okay, next question. It says, did you have in mind that the main character had a mental illness plus the paranoia to go along with the behaviors, the bad things he was doing?
Well, he's lonely. He is lonely. And I guess we wanted it to not be crystal clear whether or not it was his own mind, what was going on in his head, or whether that camera had a certain power to it. I
wondered that because at the scene, one of the scenes near the end where they hear a female voice in the room, and it's an audible voice, and both of the characters hear it, and like the neighbor asks, "Who's back there? Are you okay? Are you cutting yourself?" And so it was like it was an audible voice. So that's why I wondered if it was a paranoia or a mental illness, or if it was real. That was kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, wanted that. We wanted you to have that question, so I'm glad you did. I mean, we wanted the viewer to not be sure whether perhaps really the women in the photos were speaking. We're crying out. And of course, I don't want to give away the end, but who does what happens at the end?
I wanted to know what happened in the end. I wanted to continue.
Oh, well, good.
And then I went back and watched it from 12 minutes because I missed a little part of it. I was actually painting my nails watching this, multitasking, and then I went back and watched it. Then I went back and watched that part again from 12 minutes to the end, 12 minutes to the end, and I'm picking up other things that I missed. Because it wasn't something, I don't think the film was taken literally. There was like metaphorical things in it as well.
Oh, I'm glad that you took time to watch it again, and I'm glad that it stood, watching more than one time. We, of course, watched it many times going to different festivals, and I feel like I get something new every time I watch it. So,
how did the females like playing these roles?
Well, very much so. Of course, the main female at the end, she actually originally lived in Columbia, South Carolina, but had moved to Washington, D.C., and she flew down to do just that little part. And, she's probably in 30 seconds of the film. then she repeats, as you know, at the end. But the other girls just loved posing. And I think that one of the reasons we got such beautiful still photos is that they were actresses as opposed to just being models. And, you know, they could capture that terror in their faces. So
would you, since this has won several awards, would you continue to make it a full film?
That's a great question. And I think since you said you wanted to know more what happened, I think it could be expanded. I definitely think it could be expanded.
Everybody, you're watching Scarefest Television. A quick word, everyone, about Central Kentucky Mystical Market, the new kid in town. Mystical Market Lexington, 501 West 6th Street. That's at the Plantery. That's at the intersection of 6th Street and Jefferson. Lexington's premier monthly psychic and holistic market starts next month. November 9th it begins. CentralKentuckyMysticalMarket.com for more information.
What do you propose we do, Mr. Mudd? Well, I couldn't quite say.
Welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. And, of course, now in the background here, you'll be seeing we've got some production shots, some stills that play in the background here from the making of the movie. Helen, now I'll tell you how I watched this movie. I was kind of, as you all described, I was just convinced he was batshit crazy. Okay? I was convinced it was all in his mind, and right up until, you know, as you alluded to, then you start going, wait a minute, there might be more to this. And, but I love the casting decision because it was somebody you don't think of as a serial killer. Now just for my own, because when the first time I watched him, like, why'd they call this Songbird? Is it just because he is an aspiring musician? Is that where the name came from?
Well, there's that the fact that he's an aspiring musician. Also, the very first time that he takes the camera out to try it out, his first capture is of a songbird. And then finally, all, you know, his ladies sort of end up in cages, don't they? I mean, they have the...
Well, see, I completely missed the imagery of that. That never even occurred to my dumb ass. But, but I will say, I was warning you about that. the stupid Songbird. Okay, fair enough. Shows how. See, that's why I can never be a great horror fan, because real horror fans, they watch this stuff and they memorize the script from beginning to end and know every detail. I just watch it as a movie, and like I said, I really enjoyed that. Now everybody, I'm gonna brag on her a little bit here. We had the Crimson Screen Horror Film Fest in 2018. Right off the bat, Jonathan Benton comes running out of the gate and wins Best Actor. So to put this, production company won, Die Laughing Film Festival, Best Cinematography, Best Horror Short, right on down the list, all the way down to Scarefest. But it is neat that this is what I was talking. This is a very well-rounded short, and your awards show it. You actually you've won awards in darn near every department that, me being the novice that I am, that I think of when I think of filming something like this. Of the awards that you won, which one, and don't tell me this is like picking a kid, which one meant the most to you when you won it for any reason?
I think that when Pedro got Best Cinematographer, that was just sort of icing on the cake. I fully expected that Jonathan was going to win for Best Acting, which he's done twice, and I'm sure he will again, just because, well, I think it's a vehicle, and he drove it. He drove it fast. He drove it hard. He got a lot out of it.
Yes.
So, but people don't always notice the talent behind the camera. So I think when Pedro got the Best Cinematographer, I was just delighted, and I know Pedro was as well. Okay. Can I just say, I would love to see our composer get an award, because I think the music, again, it's one of those things that's in the background, but it sets the tone so beautifully. I think he's due next.
Now, oddly enough, that is where I was going next. One of my picky things that I judge a film or a short by is, honestly, as much as the cinema photography, the audio quality, and then that plays into the theme music, whether or not it's appropriate and whether or not it's overbearing, but it was just perfect. It set the tone, as you said. It was very, very, very appropriate. The volume level was just right. But that's of being in this, what I do, and having to watch celebrity, how they got started, I guess you would say, and watching some of the especially the older work where you get a full feature length film with no budget. It seems like one of the first places that gets cut is the sound department. They use you beautifully. You can tell. A full feature length film. Holly, we can hear your phone there.
It seems like one of the
okay.
I can usually tell when they're using the camera audio. This was obviously mixed very well, and of the final production stages of it, where did you put the most effort?
You mean in post-production?
Yes. Yeah. Once you had everything on tape, on film, what is the hardest part to you to get right?
Well, for this film and for my previous one, I would say editing, because there's a tendency to want to keep more in the film. You want to use everything you shot. That was so beautiful, but you can't. So, I guess I think that's the hardest part. Okay. Originally, I think it was 19 minutes, and we shaved it down to 17.
Now, the one question I ask every director is, did the final product accurately reflect the vision in your head? And the reason I ask that is I was told once that you write a script like money is no object, and then when you film it, if the car blowing up has to be somebody dropping a can of soda, you go with it. So I did the final project, did everything work out just the way you wanted it to on screen?
I would say it was pretty close. I have a habit of shooting a lot of things before we get on set. Like I'll take my cell phone if I have a question about how a scene is going to go, and Howard and I will shoot it in the house. I'll say, okay, you be Jonathan. I'll hold my cell phone. So because I don't want to have too many surprises on the set. But one nice surprise that we had on the set was that the night that he meets the last girl that he takes the photo of in the parking lot, of course, we had no control over the weather, but we had this beautiful thunderstorm, and it was just raining. So that was a gift that I did not foresee, and that was actually a lovely gift.
Holly, we got about 5 more minutes before the break. Go ahead and take off.
Okay. Was there a reason why there was a lot of close-up shots of the face while filming in cinematography? Because I noticed that in the movie The Joker, I've seen it twice now, and we always see close-ups of Joaquin Phoenix's face. So was there a reason why, the main character had close-ups?
I think when you have a good actor, you want to get into his or her mind, and the best way to do that is to get the camera close and watch into their eyes and watch their face. And, I think Jonathan almost drew us in. I wanted for people to see what was going on inside of him.
Okay. Yeah, that is because I wanted to know too. Also, do you feel you could have added more special effects, gore, or blood to both the main character and the victims?
I think we made a conscious choice not to have too much on screen. That's why I like to say it's a psychological thriller, more about what's going on in his head than the blood, actually. So we wanted to keep that to a minimum.
So the camera ends up also being a weapon too.
Did
you mean for that to happen?
Very good, yes.
Did you mean for that to happen, or did it just play along, or was it in the script?
That was in the script. That was definitely a script, yeah. So it starts out as a gift. It's magic. It, actually provides magic in his life, and then...
So we don't know if this camera was the weapon this whole time.
That's a good question.
Because we don't see... Okay, go to break. I'll spoil things.
Hey.
Obviously, she met her mark. That's all right. You didn't have to switch back to me. Everybody, you're watching Scarefest television. Do you feel lost in life? Do you seem to be stuck in emotions that are not yours? Is your home not the sanctuary it should be? Contact Spirit Mechanics, where they take a team approach to your metaphysical and spiritual problems. Spirit Mechanics specializes in aura cleansing, stone attunement, attachment removal, and house cleansings. Spirit Mechanics tailors their approach to your individual spiritual path and needs. Now find them monthly at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market in Lexington. Or on Facebook by searching Spirit Mechanics, that's MECHANIX. Spirit Mechanics, for your spiritual health and well-being. Everyone is talking about CBD oil. Most of us know that CBD is a cannabis compound that has significant medical benefits, but does not make people high. Its benefits include pain relief, anti-seizure properties, anxiety relief, fights cancer, reduces the risk of diabetes, and it is even used as a sleep aid. Blue Leaf Naturals CBD and hemp products are full-spectrum hemp extract oils. They use only hemp grown in Kentucky, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses and helping you and your family stay healthy and well. Blue Leaf Naturals, created with care from seed to shelf. Visit their website at blueleafnaturals.com. Blue Leaf Naturals, a Kentucky proud company.
Hey Scarefest Radio, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. You might remember me from other Scarefests such as this last year, the year before that, several different years actually. I've been in Scarefest for a while. Wes Forsyth was nice enough to ask me to do kind of a review segment for Scarefest Radio. This is where I'm going to take either new movies, maybe some old movies or lost treasures I think you should watch, review them and tell you what they're going to be about. This is going to be a little different than an average review show, but I'm going to give you a little history, maybe about the director, maybe about certain actors, maybe about how the movie was made, maybe what was going on, maybe a little bit of the history of other things. I have no idea. But today I've chosen It Chapter 2. Now, there's going to be some spoilers. It Chapter 2 has been out for a couple of weeks, so you should have already seen it. If you've not, then you're probably not a fan and not going to watch it anyway, or you're definitely going to catch it on the red box. To say that I'm a Stephen King fan, well, that's just not quite cutting it. This is my original version of It that someone bought me in 1990, which would make me 12 years old. When the miniseries came out, you can see Tim Curry here on the book. I was a huge fan of the miniseries. I watched it the night it came on. It's directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. Tommy Lee Wallace is a Kentuckian, like some of us. He was friends with John Carpenter. He started working on Halloween and a few other movies. He directed Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the one everyone hates that I actually really, really like. When I heard that they were going to make a new version, not a remake, because the first one was a miniseries, it's on TV. I don't think it's very fair to call it a remake because it's based on a book. So it's not a remake of the miniseries. It's just another version or another, basically, version of the book. New movie. A guy named Cary Fukunaga. He directed the first season of True Detective, was writing the screenplay, was going to direct it. I was very excited. I loved the first season of True Detective. Then there was some problems, and he left the project, and he was replaced by a guy named Andy Muschietti. Well, I got excited about that, too, because if you don't know, Andy Muschietti directed a wonderful film called Mama that came out a few years ago. It's a horror kind of fantasy hybrid. Check it out if you haven't seen it. He's a talented man. Great. Get It Chapter 1. I go to the movies and I see it and I think, this is pretty damn good. And then I get excited because it's a huge hit. And It Chapter 2 is coming out. And I go and see it and it sucks. What do you all think? Because I didn't like it. There's several problems. And I think one of the biggest problems is that it has an amazing cast. It has James McAvoy. It has Bill Hader. It has Jessica Chastain. These are award-winning actors. A couple of them have been nominated for Academy Awards. But they never quite gel. There's no chemistry between them. Not like there was with the kids. The other problem, I think, unfortunately, is this. The source material. It works fine as a novel. What do you always hear about books? It's a cliche, but you hear it all the time. Wow, the movie was never as good as the book. For a lot of Stephen King books, that's correct. The reason being is because he's a fantastic author. But how do you describe deadlights in a book? Pennywise has deadlights. He's a being that has been from the cosmos and landed here, or was from the cosmos and landed here eons ago, basically where Derry is now, and he feeds on children. He loves the taste of scared children. It flavors the meat, he says. And his favorite shape is of the Pennywise the Dancing Clown. The miniseries made him into a spider at the end. People got pissed. But he is kind of a spider. But he is made up of these deadlights. Well, how do you explain that in the book? Well, fairly simple, and you build it with your imagination. How do you visually interpret that? There is a scene that they add at the first in the movie I love that's out of the book. It's out of the first few pages where a man is murdered under a bridge after they've been attacked by another townsfolk. So, should you watch it? Well, if you're a Stephen King fan, you've probably already watched it. You're going to watch it. So yes, if you're a fan of the book, yes. If you like clowns, yeah, watch it. Is it a terrible movie? By no means. Is it as good as It Chapter 1? Not by a long shot. But every problem that the first miniseries had for the second night, It Chapter 2 has times 3. There is some great cameos in it. I enjoyed them, but it kind of takes you out of the movie too. There's a long extended cameo with Stephen King where Bill buys the bike. But it still takes you out of the movie. Check it out. You've probably already seen it, but it is very flawed. This has been Joe Lewis. Thank you so much.
This week in horror history, we take a look back at the week of October 12th through 18th and discuss notable moments in both horror movie history and true crime. We begin in 1888 London, England, where infamous serial killer Jack the Ripper was instilling fear in people all across the Whitechapel area. On October 15th, investigators in charge of the Ripper case received the infamous From Hell letter, which included a jar containing half of a human kidney. In the letter, Jack the Ripper explained he had consumed the other half of the kidney and that his killings would continue. To this day, it is unknown the exact body count of Jack the Ripper, and he has never been identified. In more true crime horror history, on October 12th, 1969, the infamous Zodiac Killer, who had been terrorizing the San Francisco Bay Area, would claim his last known victim, a cabbie named Paul Stine. In the days following this slaying, Zodiac sent encrypted letters to the San Francisco Chronicle and included pieces of his victim's shirt. The Zodiac Killer claimed to have killed 37 people, but only 7 of those have ever been confirmed. His identity is also unknown to this day. Moving on to horror movie history, there were several notable releases this week, beginning with Sam Raimi's cult classic The Evil Dead, which was released in theaters on October 5th, 1981. The film introduced us to the iconic character Ash Williams, who would later become our favorite shotgun-wielding hero in another cult classic, Army of Darkness. Evil Dead and the character of Ash Williams would help launch the career of horror icon Bruce Campbell. Also this week, on October 13th, 1993, Tim Burton's masterpiece The Nightmare Before Christmas hit theaters. Despite the film being claymation, adults and children alike were drawn to our beloved Jack Skellington, and the movie quickly became a cult classic and will forever be one of Burton's best-known films. Other notable horror classics released this week include the cult classic Reanimator in 1985, Candyman in 1992, Wes Craven's New Nightmare in 1994, Bride of Chucky in 1998, and The Ring in 2002. Join us next week for another look into horror history. And everybody, welcome back to Scarefest Television. Thanks, Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. before we get back to our guest, I do want to say, okay, we're going to give away a $10 gift card. It's on Twitter. Tag at the Scarefest with, this is simple. You don't even have to hashtag it. First person that goes at the Scarefest, and says, I would like a gift card, please. I will give you this gift card. We'll get together and I'll mail this to you, and you have a $10 gift card to Shakespeare and Company just by saying, I would like a gift card, please. Isn't that simple? Now, Helen, on the to close this out a little bit, where do you go from here? Okay, now you've been on the circuit. The earliest one I saw was 2018. You've done the film festivals this year. What do you have left this year that some of our viewers might be able to catch this?
Well, we don't know, but they could follow us on IG, on Songbird the Movie, or on Facebook, because I always give heads up of the next festival we've gone to. We've been East Coast, West Coast, South, North, so just about across all the 50 states. We may be coming to your state again next.
What was your favorite state? Forget about the convention or the film festival. What state did you most enjoy the visit to?
Probably California. Yeah, California. We got in a quick visit to the Hearst Castle, and I saw the elephant seals while I was up there. So, yeah, California.
We have a winner. I usually suck at giving away stuff on Twitter, but tonight we have a winner. It's just me. At a delicious Bass 5. I don't know what that means, but you are the winner. I'll be getting with you. I'll send you a message after the show, and so thank you. But we do have our winner. It's just me. You win the $10 gift card to Shakespeare and Company. Yeah, you can find them on Facebook real easy. I'm not an Instagram guy. I've got Instagram. I don't get it. I just don't get Instagram. But now, are you keeping the website updated with any of the upcoming events, or is that just pretty much just a link to the IMDb page?
Yeah, I think that I keep the updates more on social media. You know, I definitely put them on Facebook and on Instagram. To me, Instagram is easier. I'm not good at tweeting. I have set up a Twitter page and I haven't tweeted yet, I don't think.
Now moving forward. Now, do you have your next project already in mind, or are you still concentrating on getting more people to see this one, or do you have your ideas? Where are we at on that?
Well, we do, of course, want more people to see Songbird, but we are tossing around ideas for another thriller, maybe with a female lead this time. So very excited about that. We sort of rolling ideas back and forth, and we will definitely post whenever we get ready to launch our new one, but still taking Songbird along for a full ride.
And this is one of those inside baseball. How did you fund this? Was this out of pocket? Was this, did you GoFundMe? How did you raise the money? Because you can't get this production quality on a shoestring budget. There's some money behind that camera.
We did get some grant money. We were very fortunate to get some grant money, and we did put in some of our own money, but a lot of people did a lot of stuff for us for love, which that was awesome.
All right, everybody, we're going to take our final commercial break, and we'll be back with just a little bit more, including Mutagen Nation. over to you, Holly.
Have you ever been to the Chattanooga Film Festival?
I haven't. Would you
haven't?
It?
Yes, I would. It's a really big festival, and it's very famous because horror host Joe Bob Briggs goes there every year, so he always talks about it. So my question would be, would you want a horror host to view your work and review it and roast you on it while watching your film?
Yes, I think that would be great. I'm up for it. Chattanooga, I'll check it out. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I think that's all the questions that I have. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Holly, and thank you, Wes. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Helen. And I knew I was going to do that sooner or later. But anyway, thank you, Helen, for coming on. Everybody, we're going to go ahead and let Helen go now. She can unceremoniously hang up on us anytime she wants. I do want to remind everybody about Akashic Awareness, akashicawareness.com. If you've been listening to my shows for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about Mark and Shelley James of Akashic Awareness of Elizabethtown, Kentucky. It's a metaphysical healing and learning center unlike any other in Kentucky, and there is always something going on at Akashic Awareness. Except, oddly enough, this weekend. I always say that, but this weekend, we found the download. Went to the website, they say closed. We found out the download. They're going ghost hunting. I'm getting under their skin. They're going to have to pay me rent. It's because I'm in their head now. But anyway, when they get back, it looks like they'll be back about October 23rd or so. And it might be, because they showed 20th. Saturday, the October 19th was the last normal business day that they show closed. But special events at Akashic Awareness. Who Am I meditation on the 23rd. This is a 3-part workshop that goes into who we were, who we are, and who we want to be. There are guided meditations and exercises that will help you relax, guide you, and help you discover and rediscover. And massage with Rachel Centron on October 24th. I got a massage from Rachel last week. She worked on my shoulder, and yes, it actually did help. You always hear me bitch about my shoulder. She's going on the payroll, as they say. I'm going to be a regular with Rachel now. She took it easy on me. Last time she gave me the royal treatment. This time I explained to her, okay, I'm a big pussy. And, so she did a great job. And I might have to go to Elizabethtown because I don't know if I can wait for the mystical market. Gospel of Thomas study group coming up also on the 24th, 26th. Reiki 1 and 2 certification. There's always something going on at Akashic Awareness, akashicawareness.com. Check them out and join their email list.
Coyote Chris Sutton.
Shamanism.
Spiritual advisement.
Paranormal investigations.
Inspirational presentations.
Bringing light to the darkest places for over 20 years. Go to coyotechris.com to learn more.
Hello there, my dear little test subjects. And now I'm out here again at Scarefest with Louisville Halloween. They've got a lot of great haunted attractions, so we're trying to talk to everyone about it, and we've got some great cosplayers. We got another one here. It's Zixnia. Is that right?
It's Ixnea, you pathetic human.
Oh, yes. I offend a lot of demons, but this is my first Egyptian demon to offend. So tell me, now you are an Egyptian demon, correct?
Indeed I am.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience down in tombs amongst the dead. You know, the wrappings, they put a lot of their organs in those canopic jars. You have a lot of experience in those sorts of things. I have
several of my ex-husbands in canopic jars as we speak. One of them actually happens to be at home and is living in a sarcophagus.
Well, I understand. I think they might have some kind of dating thing going on here at Scarefest that you could always get out to and meet someone new. Because you never can fill enough of those canopic jars with essential organs. So, and I know a lot about that being a scientist. But one particular thing that when I found out we had an Egyptian demon here today was I really wanted to see if you could truly dance like an Egyptian.
Normally I say no, but for you, I shall do so.
Oh, how pleasant. Okay, so I'll sing the song, and then you do the dance, okay? Do, walk like an Egyptian. Yeah, walk like an Egyptian. Yeah, that was perfect.
Thank you very much.
Now, a lot of work went into this cosplay. And you made all this yourself, is that correct?
Absolutely. The only things I did not was my lovely necklace, and the pens that you can see are the scarabs.
Wow. And, you know, of course, the demon that came into your body after you made this costume, I'd like to speak with the demon real fast, if I could.
Absolutely.
So assume that. Now, Ixnea?
Yes, what is it?
Ixnea. I've been having a lot of trouble with scarabs in my basement. They swarm, and then anytime my cat goes down there, it's toast. I've gone through at least 15 cats this summer. What is your best advice for getting rid of these pests?
Young children, especially ones that are being incredibly troublesome, I find that if you use them when they're medium rare, possibly rarish, that seems to solve the problem relatively quickly.
So the children will satiate their appetite.
Absolutely. The more misbehaved, the better.
Do they go away then, or do they stick around and need to find another child later?
After about 100, you may see some improvements.
Quick reminder, everybody, the Scarefest wines, Scarefest 12 wines are still on sale. Perfect Christmas gift, and Christmas is right around the corner. Go to thescarefest.com, choose the merchandise link, and it will take you right to a little description of the wines where you can click them and go to talonwine.com to arrange your order. Basically, you buy them and then you come and pick them up because the liquor laws in Kentucky are weird. But they're a great collector's item and from a great winery, great product. Our next remote, other than maybe doing Facebook Live at Chad Harlan's Halloween party, we're going to be at GalaxyCon. Some of us will be at GalaxyCon. GalaxyCon coming up November 22nd through 24th at the Louisville, Kentucky International Convention Center. Scarefest the 13th will have a booth. We'll have some swag. I'll probably be doing bad tarot card readings. It'll be a lot of fun. It is a great convention. And so everybody, that's kind of where we're going with Scarefest television now. And I got Holly. You're back on TV. Make sure you know you're on TV. Holly's gonna be back in about a month. She's arranged. She's doing her first paranormal interview. What are we giggling about?
Is this smirk?
I'm
not big on paranormal, and I'm open about that. But I've known this person for several years, and he's done a lot of work with celebrities and on TV, so he'll be interesting to talk to.
Okay, and now do you have any conventions that you're going to be hitting up in the next month or two that people might be able to run you down?
No, but this weekend is Fanboy Expo. It's going on right now in Knoxville. The one that you're going to in November, GalaxyCon, is at the end of November. Let's see. And then I believe in January is Vet City Con again in Bowling Green.
Yes, yeah, I haven't done the banner for Vet City yet, but we will be at Vet City. We'll be there too, everybody. This has been Scarefest Television. I hope you enjoyed our little added segments tonight, and we're still working on clicking the buttons, but we've got some great content coming up. We've already got 2 complete short films scheduled to show on the show. The directors have given us permission to actually show the entire thing. They're kind of easing off of the film circuit. That'll be coming up. We've got the paranormal groups. I had a lot of paranormal groups contact me about doing the 15-minute segments on certain locations that they're very familiar with. And also, now this is one I haven't posted yet. Everybody's a film critic. If you want to be a film critic, write film reviews. We'll be posting about that on the Facebook page here very soon. But if you want to write film reviews, we have a spot for you. You can do it on camera, or you can just do it. You can do it behind your little keyboard and have fun there. Everybody, this has been Scarefest Television.